Big day for Brett Favre. And his old coach is in this building. Mike Holmgren on the side for Seattle. 2nd down and 5. You take a look at ex-Baltimore quarterback Frank Dilfer from the 40. Alexander with Hutchinson, the rookie, pulling. A nice cut inside. A good block by Kovac, and there he goes. It's a foot race with O'Neal. A block by Jackson, and he's in for a touchdown. The current AFC Player of the Week, second-year fullback, running back Sean Alexander out of Alabama. A 60-yard touchdown run, a career long.
Last week he's had 176 yards. Said his goal was 180. He came up short. I tried to get him to tell us what his goal was this week. He wouldn't. He didn't want us to jinx him, but I guarantee he's a lot closer right now than he was before the game started.
Lindell's extra point is up and in. He does play some fullback when Ricky Waters is the running back, but with Waters out, he now becomes the running back, and a good one he is. 176 yards last week in the win for Seattle over Jacksonville.
Denver gets some penetration back here, but they don't get to his legs. Watch the footwork of Sean Alexander, how he gets by those guys. When they come in low and they try to get his speed, he gets his speed up. Now, this is an excellent job right here of everybody walling off. There's no more penetration, downfield blocking. Everybody has done their job. Sean Alexander, a big guy that is deceptive. He has the ability to make people miss, and you saw his footwork there in the backfield, not allowing the Broncos to tackle him. And Kavika Pittman's got to make that play, but he just didn't do it. Look at his vision. Look at the vision there, Kevin. Look at the guy looking down the field, the patience to allow the blocks to set up. Darrell Jackson downfield, waiting on them. This is a second-year running back who believes that he's learning from Ricky Waters, a certain Hall of Famer, in my opinion. He has a chance one of these days to be a premier back in the NFL, and that was quite an impressive run right there.
And to show you the resiliency of the Denver Bronco defense, the first opening drive touchdown they have allowed in the last 16 games.
Going to say that word a few times today. Bellwether games. Seattle really feeling like Mike Holmgren's plan is coming about. The players believe in Mike Holmgren and his coaching staff, and he thinks he's kind of got them headed in the right direction, and they needed a game like this against Denver to follow up last week's impressive win against Jacksonville.
The pursuing kickoff by Ryan Lindell. It gets by Chris Cole, going into the end zone. He'll leave it there, and they'll take it back to the 20. The fireworks early in Seattle. Alexander, the 60-yard touchdown run.
Welcome back to Seattle, where the Seahawks lead the Broncos 7-0. Hey, guys upstairs, I've got a viewing tip for you. Watch for number 49, Matt Dominguez. He's a rookie tight end out of Sam Houston State. You never heard his name on the practice squad the first 3 weeks. Denver's looking for passing offense. I'm told this guy is going to play a part. We'll see. Back upstairs.
Good note. Thank you very much. Patrick Capus in the backfield, and Brian Greasy, bad shoulder and all, is at the 20-yard line for a 1st and 10 pitch out. And it goes to Mike Anderson. He dives out to the 22-yard line. Gain of 3. Chad Brown is there with the stop. Brian Greasy was put on the injury report on Friday morning for the first time all week with a bad shoulder.
And we drilled him yesterday pretty good about it in the questioning. You know, how's the shoulder? He was very sensitive with it. Brian didn't want to talk about it. It's almost like, hey, leave it alone. Just let me play football. I've got my personal problems to deal with, and I don't want them to individually impact my team.
Matt Dominguez is in there. Near side, inside, tight end. 2nd down, 8. Handoff goes to Anderson. Breaks the tackle from Sinclair. Digs his way to the 27, picking up 5 yards. Let's take our first trip to the CBS Sports Desk in New York in gymnastics.
All right, Kevin, watch this finish. New England comes back from 10 down with 3.5 to play to tie it. Final play of the game, Wade Ritchie from 59 yards for the Chargers. Comes up short. We're in overtime. Patriot possession at their own 23. Let's go back out to Kevin and Craig in Seattle.
All right, Jim, thank you. Remember, New England upset Indianapolis in New England earlier this year. 3rd down and 3 for Greasy. Good time in the pocket. Here comes John Randall. There's the pass. Caught by Dominguez near the 30. Should have enough for a 1st down depending on the spot. Matt Dominguez, who is a rookie free agent from Sam Houston, practice squad first 3 weeks, inactive against Kansas City. and makes his first NFL catch right there. Let's see if the spot is good for Denver. They had to get to the 30-yard line for the first down. And looks like they will bring the chains out from the side. Yes, they will. As you take a look at our referee, Larry Nemmers, today here in Seattle. A bellwether game, you say?
It is. Seattle's feeling pretty good about their defense right now, and they should. This is a defense that has played extremely well against the running game. They made a commitment to do that, and now they want to face a team that has totally dominated them in the rush game. And Denver's a team that feels they can come in here and put it on them pretty heavily.
Shy by at least the length of the football for Coach Mike Holmgren. In his defense, they hold, and Denver will send Tom Ruin onto the field, so a pretty good defensive mark early in the game for the Seattle Seahawks.
This Dominguez guy, it's one of those players that might step up and produce, and that's what Brian Griese, Gary Kubiak, they both alluded to. They're just looking for guys to make plays. They don't want to talk about it too openly, but this team really does have problems on offense, and they're trying to get it going, not just with the running game, but realizing they're going to have to throw the football.
Charlie Rogers normally returns punts and kickoffs, but today he will sit, and Bobby Ingram, the ex-Chicago Bear, will be back there to retrieve. Now they're going to review.
We'll review the play.
They're going to review the catch by Matt Dominguez to see if his forward progress took him beyond the 30. It's a situation where a team only has 2 challenges a game, and Denver's going to use one very early.
And it's wise to do that. I thought from up here at the angle that we had that maybe he did get a little bit more with his, that's where the ball is, truly. Not just where the shoulder pads are, but where the ball is.
Good stick by Chad Brown.
Very nice stick. Brown active both on pass rushing this year and has been a good player, not a great player in pass coverage, but a good guy to get back.
So we had some lightning strike early in this game today for Seattle. A 60-yard touchdown run by Sean Alexander. The 4th of the season for him. And now here is Denver's subsequent possession. His foot truly is beyond the 30-yard line.
But it's the ball. It has to be the ball.
And you can't really tell from that vantage point if the ball is beyond the 30. But his foot, as you watch it land, is definitely beyond the 30.
And for the 3rd week in a row, we've had several replays here. It has to be conclusive for them to overturn the call made on the field, which was that it was short.
My guess is they'll give them a better spot in the first down on this catch. If the feet have anything to say about it, because you're assuming the ball is basically at the same position as the feet. It's a chest-high catch.
But he has to have that shot. When he's in there looking right now in his replay, he has to have the ability to see that football actually crossing not just the foot or the shoulder pads, but the ball.
How about the AFC West as we shift gears? They have the coach's challenge here. San Diego in a overtime game in New England. They could go to 4-1. The Chargers could, should they win up there. Denver trying to go to 4-1 tonight. Oakland plays at the Colts at the RCA Dome.
There's only one team that hasn't lived up to their preseason hype and some of the expectations, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs. You've got a Seattle Seahawks team that's trying to go 3-2. You've got a Bronco team trying to hang in there. I think most people who follow the NFL expected the AFC West to be maybe the best division in football, and I think we're starting to see that now, especially with the start that San Diego's having.
Interesting games around the league today as Green Bay beat Baltimore and really shredded the Baltimore defense. Cincinnati won. They beat Cleveland today. New Orleans held on to beat Carolina 27-25. The Giants and the Rams were in a big game, and San Francisco coming from behind in overtime to beat Atlanta 37-31. So Larry Nemmers is taking his look over in the monitor across the way, and here is his ruling on the field.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. The pass was complete, but short of the line to gain. It'll be 4th down. Denver is charged with their first team timeout.
But we clearly saw his feet land outside the 30.
It's not the ball, though. The ball is the critical part here. And in that tank there, he could not see the football go across the line of scrimmage, and that's where the mark has to be. And again, he's at the mercy of what kind of replay he can see. What's the angle is he getting in that booth there, down there? And in my opinion, I thought it was the right call.
Ruin's punt is the #1 punter in the NFL. And Ingram at about the 21-yard line for Seattle. Got a nice block from Maurice Kelly. Breaking a couple tackles and blocked down by Diaz Infante. A 27-yard return after a 50-yard punt. And the Seahawks will get great beginning field position up 7-0. Kevin Harlan, Craig James, and Beasley Reese. Good field position via the punt return by Bobby Ingram for Seattle.
Mike Holmgren said he wanted to at least push in the special teams arena today, and he felt like if he could do that he could win this football game.
They're well ahead of that. After the Denver punt, 1st and 10 from the 48. Across the middle, the pass is caught by rookie Corn Robinson, close to a first down. He's to the 43-yard line of the Denver Broncos, picking up 9. Coming up 2nd down and 1. Let's send it off to New York and Jim Nance.
All right, here's the finish. Kevin in Foxborough, 44 yards out. Vinatieri, after Brady drove them down there, connects. Brady threw for 364 yards, brought him back from 10 down with 3.5 to play. New England over San Diego. Let's go back out to Kevin and Craig.
Thank you, Jim. 2nd down, 1. No gain on the play for Sean Alexander. Eric Brown, number 26, saw to that. San Diego's now lost 2 straight games.
You're a really good team. I don't think you'd want to schedule the Patriots at the Patriots. That team plays much better when they're at home than they do on the road.
It's 3rd down and 1 as you take a look at Alexander. He's got a 60-yard touchdown run today from the 43 of Denver. 3rd down and 1. Poirier is on the move for quarterback Trent Dilfer. Draw play, handoff Alexander. Outraces Romanowski. Has the first down. Tumbles inside the 35. Picking up 9 on 3rd and 1. And Seattle is at the Denver 34. 6 carries, 80 yards for Alexander today. And we welcome those of you who have been watching the game between the San Diego Chargers and the New England Patriots. A thrilling game with the Patriots on top by 3. Second consecutive loss for San Diego. Kevin Harlan, Craig James, Beasley Reese at Husky Stadium, Seattle. 1st and 10, 34-yard line of Denver for the Seahawks, who lead in a touchdown run by Alexander. And there's a spin to Alexander, a block by Hutchinson. Chased by Denard Walker and pulled down at about the 15-yard line in a gain of 19 yards.
Sean Alexander, a guy you want to get the ball to his hands as best you can. They get to the flats. They get out there. Robbie Tobeck, the center, does a nice job of leading the way out there. Steve Hutchinson, you see him out leading traffic. The offensive linemen of Seattle believe the future is really bright for them, and they feel like they can make things work for this offense, making things a lot simpler for Sean Alexander and for Trent Dilfer.
Inside the 15, 1st down and 10. Handoff goes to Alexander. He's pulled down from behind after a 1-yard gain to the 14-yard line, bringing up 2nd down and 9.
Which is not the situation Seattle wants to be in. 2nd and long, 3rd and long. They want to stay away from that.
Alexander, he almost has the size of a fullback, but runs with the nimbleness and the agility of a running back.
And watching him on tape, sometimes it seems like his legs stop in a play. He gets hit, and he just stops using his legs. But he started this ball game using his feet extremely well, running with eyeballs on his feet, and that's what he's got going for him right now.
2nd down, long 9, and again it's Alexander bouncing around and finally whacked and put down. Again it was Eric Brown, Romanowski, Pittman all involved in the play, throwing him for a loss of 2 back near the 16-yard line.
He made me a liar there. He stopped using his eyes. He blew it. Bad read.
So counter to what the guy he's taken the place of Ricky Waters does so well. He always turns his legs.
Non-stop. Always moving. And I think the more carries this guy gets in his career, the much better player he's going to be.
3rd down 12. Back to near the 17-yard line. Ingram is in motion. Trent Dilfer. Here comes the blitz. He's hit and brought down by Brown. The pass incomplete. He is in the grass. They blew the whistle, and he is down for a sack back at the 26-yard line. And that was by Eric Brown with his first sack of the season, the 3rd of his career.
On the right side, they come with it. Brown comes across, and you wonder who he just came clean. Now, 1, 2, 3, get rid of the football. Obviously, they weren't in sync offensively on this play because they did go back further, and nobody picked him up. Brown from the right side.
Brown with a nice play. Now they're going to try for a field goal from 44 yards away by the struggling Ryan Lindell. He has gone only 2 of his last 5. Jeff Siegel's on the hold. Jean-Philippe Darche on the snap. And from 44 yards away, he is good. Seattle with a surprising 10-0 lead over the Denver Broncos. Seattle has scored on their first 2 possessions today. A 60-yard touchdown run by Alexander, a 44-yard field goal by Lindell.
And again, special teams doing more than just pushing right now. The field goal from a long ways out, and the fact they had a nice punt return a while ago without a mistake on that.
So after Lindell's field goal, here's his kickoff. Aiming for Chris Cole at about the 6-yard line for Denver. And belted and taken down by Philippe Darche. And they'll mark him down after a 22-yard gain at about the 30-yard line. And a timeout at Husky Stadium in Seattle.
7-Eleven store. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven.
Back in Seattle, Kevin Harlan alongside Craig James. 10-0 is the score. Seattle on top. Running the ball was one of the priorities for Denver today.
They've been very successful against Seattle over the last 2 attempts at running the ball. They've got to establish it, specifically Mike Anderson today, if they're going to have any chance at all of throwing the football. The run sets up the pass for Denver.
And from the 29, Anderson gets the call, picks up 5 on the play, tackled by John Randall. A flag has been thrown at the 37-yard line. Denver comes into this game having won 9 of their last 10 against the Seattle Seahawks. Last year ran in this stadium for over 300 yards against Seattle's defense, which is much improved this year against the run.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 99 of the offense. After the play was over, taunting. That's a 15-yard penalty. From the end of the run, still first down.
There is no 99 on offense. It's probably 89 Dwayne Carswell he was talking about. 99 is inactive Monte Rager.
The foul was on the defense, number 99.
There you go.
And 15 yards to the end of the run, first down.
It's Levon Kirkland. That's a pretty significant mistake to make.
The left side of your screen, though, I think after the play, here's where Levon did it. Levon's such a veteran. He's got to hold his composure. How about the turn of events on that? You know Levon thought he got away with one.
Well, we got the 9 right, at least, in that. And now we got the right team. It was on Levon Kirkland, the multi-Pro Bowl player who comes over as a free agent from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Greasy now shy of the 49, first and 10. Empty backfield, Landis Gary is in motion. Here comes the rush from Randall. And Greasy falls down. Flag is thrown. Neal is trying to hold off John Randall, who is right there in the vicinity of the Denver quarterback. And as you see, the flag has been thrown. You see Chad Brown, the umpire, there talking with Larry Nemmers, our referee. Yes, Chad Brown.
How about Chad Eaton in there doing a little lobbying?
Yes. No hanging Chad there. They're both making their statement very, very clear.
That was good. It was there.
Well, it was there.
Yeah, you got to go with it. That's going to help out his buddy Levon Kirkland on that unsportsmanlike conduct call.
There's Chad Brown, and like you said, our umpire today, one of our officials is named Chad Brown, who is right there. And is almost as big as the football-playing Chad Brown.
Didn't we see him at dinner last night?
We did.
I put my order in before he did. You're either going to be out of the fish or out of state.
We had a personal foul on number 62 of the offense for a 15-yard face mask. We have a 5-yard penalty on the defensive team for a 5-yard face mask. By rule, that's a 5-yard penalty and a 15-yard penalty. Only the 15 is enforced from the previous spot. 15 yards, still first down.
Well, there's a lot going on in the field, as you can tell.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if, if he's really, the ref's not discombobulated here. I mean, we got all kinds of things going on. John Randall, bottom line, is just driving back the offensive line, and this is why he's on the team, because of his push. His intensity is incredible.
And of course, we should also notice that most of you who follow the NFL know there are two different kinds of face mask penalties. One of just the garden variety 5 yards, and one is a major 15-yard violation. And now there seems to be a lot of confusion as to where the ball will be spotted as this is marched off against the Denver Broncos. And should be down at about the 33, 34-yard line, which is where he has stopped and where our umpire, Chad Brown, has put the ball.
And I think what they're arguing about or hollering about at Seattle's defense is the fact that it's supposed to happen from the spot that the penalty occurred. That's what Holmgren was going crazy about on the sideline.
Well, after all that, we can tell you it's 1st and 25 on the 33 of Denver. Brian Greasy with the block from Anderson. Here comes Randall. He dumps it off to Anderson. A block from Neal. And then grabbed by King and Sinclair and Kirkland and gang tackled at about the 30. And a loss of about 2.5 on the play. Seattle has come out with the defense very unlike the defense we saw here in the Pacific Northwest a year ago.
Well, what Denver has traditionally done against this team is behind the legs of their running backs, they've run the football. They've just continued to pound away, and they've been throwing the ball and happen to because of the situation.
Like we said, 301 yards in this game last year here. Now it is 2nd down and 27. Marked at the 31 with Carswell, the tight end, in motion. Hayes comes out of the backfield. Here he is in the backfield. And it's a pass across the middle to Eddie Kennison. He swerves to the 41, picks up 10. But remember now, they've got to get all the way down to the Seattle 41, so they still have a long way to go with 3rd down coming up.
Baby steps in this Broncos offense would be what they had to accomplish right there. Kennison is the guy that they say needs to step up and make plays for them. He's one of those players that has to produce that we talked about at the beginning here.
No Rod Smith yet.
No Rod Smith. And not very much of Mike Anderson.
Orlando Scary's in the backfield, 3rd and 18. Now the empty backfield for Greasy from the 41. Here comes Randall again. There's the pass, broken up, going for Carswell. The coverage, a nice coverage it was by linebacker Anthony Simmons. No yellow on the field, and the Denver Broncos have got a punt for a 2nd consecutive time.
Really a nice job of getting pressure in on Brian Greasy, not letting him get to the backside and really all his 3rd and 4th progressions. But I want you to see right here in the middle, there's where he is. He's coming across, and he puts his hand on the ball, not on his hip, which would have been pass interference. It was a very nice job there.
Tom Ruin, the punt, is averaging almost 49 yards per boot. We mentioned before, number 1 in the NFL in that category. And deep back is Bobby Ingram for Seattle, circling at about the 12-yard line. Gets by one oncoming tackler. That was Orlando Scared, and finally belted and blocked down at about the 24-yard line. Kenoy Kennedy is there, and David Diaz in front. Nice defense by Anthony Simmons. Seattle on top. Seattle ready to get the ball back for the 3rd time. They have scored on their first 2 possessions. Denver has punted on their first 2 possessions. Kevin Harlan, Craig James, Beasley Reese from Seattle. Husky Stadium from the 25. 1st and 10 for Trent Dilfer with great time to throw and fires a pass which whistles over the head of intended receiver, the tight end Fourier, covering the play by Kenoy Kennedy. Upcoming 2nd down and 10.
You know, one of the things that they've really tried to accomplish here is to get Christian Fourier into what he's trying to do here. Fourier going to the flat, nice little out there, but that's a tough play because of the fact that Delta O'Neal, the corner, came flying back into the pattern, which forced him to have to throw the ball high.
Kenoy Kennedy will leave. Eric Davis will check in the secondary as you take a look at Trent Dilfer, who comes into this game having won 12 consecutive starts. That includes the postseason. 2nd down and 10. On the 25, it's Alexander. A good block from Hutchinson, but then he was devoured behind the line by Al Wilson. A loss of 4. Mark him back to the 21.
Yeah, Wilson, when he watches films, will shake hands with Romanowski because Bill's the guy who really did his deal. Romanowski on the outside comes in, and he's the guy who makes the play and disrupts the blocking. Nobody can get to him. That allowed Al Wilson in the middle of the field to come through and make the play. But he gets out there, and Steve Hutchinson, number 76, just can't get to him. Wilson's the beneficiary of a nice play and effort by Romanowski.
Nickel defense, which involves Romanowski of Denver. 3rd and 14 from the 21. Dilfer again. Blitz is on by Ian Gold, and down goes Dilfer. The pass incomplete. And so now it'll be 4th down, and for the first time today, Seattle will have to punt. How Dilfer got that away with the pressure on, I do not know.
That's twice now that Denver's defense has come with a lot of pressure and gotten to Trent Dilfer, forced a premature throw. Seattle's offense has to simplify their protection. They've got to get rid of the ball quicker, or Denver's going to keep coming at them. Or I wouldn't stop.
Dilfer now 4 of 5. You take a look at Delta O'Neal, the AFC Defensive Player of the Week. In fact, we have both AFC stars from a week ago in this game today on offense. And O'Neal on defense. Alexander, one on the offensive side for Seattle. Jeff Beagles to punt. Averaging 44 yards a boot. They set up the return. A very weak punt. Waved off by O'Neal, landing near the 40 and then downed by the linebacker, Tim Terry. And they'll mark him at about the 38-yard line, a 42-yard punt. Well, tonight on the CBS Sunday Morning, when the cameras were off, don't miss the world premiere. Surviving Gilligan's Island tonight on CBS. I want to think everything was rosy behind the scenes at Gilligan's, right?
I love that show. That's all.
I know. I grew up with it.
I still watch it.
From the 39, 1st and 10 for Brian Greasy. Good block by Friedman, a fumble on the play. And it's recovered by Dan Neal, the right guard. The pressure, and John Randall has been all over that pocket throughout the first half today.
Hey, John Randall and Lamar King. Boy, look at them in here. Look how they come in from the outside and they push the pressure. Brian Greasy is not seeing down the field right now. What's happening is he's seeing people in front of him. Randall, Lamar King, 92, they're putting pressure on him, and he's not really able to look and read his coverages.
Still no Rock Smith. He's a leading receiver in the NFL. 2nd down, 18 from the 31. The pitch out to Anderson. A block, or a suspected block by Lestis, does not do anything because Sean Springs is there. Lamar King is there. Lepsis, and there goes a flag with some jawing after the play, and Levon Kirkland stuck his nose into that tackle. Springs has been battling a hamstring, getting a start today after missing the entire preseason and seeing limited play last week in his first action in this 2001 NFL season. Where Lepsis tried to get out there and block, and he could not knock over anybody as Seattle has swarmed throughout the afternoon.
Unsportsmanlike conduct for taunting on the defense, number 24. 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
You know, emotions are one thing. You know, you got to play with intensity, but you got to play smart. John Springs is glad to be back in the starting lineup, but you got to walk away. Make your play and get away from it. Levon Kirkland's already had one unsportsmanlike on him. This one here, that's 30 yards of field position they give up in 2 series, and you just can't do that.
So it's 1st and 10 as you see the penalty situation today. Denver just beyond their 45-yard line. 3 receivers for Greasy, Anderson in the backfield. Final minute of the 1st quarter. It's Anderson. Nice block by Nealon. There's a hold. Grabbed by Robertson as he crosses the 45. A flag is down at the other 45 after what is right now a gain of 11. Wipe it away with the hold on the Denver Broncos.
And the reason that worked, that was that stretch running play that Denver does so well. They stretch and get the cutback lanes, but John Randall was held so he couldn't make the tackle on the cutback.
And Randall will let you know when he is held, too.
Holding, offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 1st down.
Dan Neal gets his 2nd penalty of the day, and let's send you off to New York and an update from our sports desk in Jim Nance.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Miami is manhandling the Jets. 183 total yards to 17, and Travis Minor, 29 yards with his first NFL touchdown, 14-0 Dolphins. Let's go back out there to Seattle.
You get that combination, Lamar Smith, Jim, and you get Travis Minor coming in there, the tardy guy. That's a pretty tough combination to deal with defensively.
Remember the last time Miami played in the Meadowlands against the Jets? What a Monday night game that was, 1st and 20. With the penalty on Neal, back to the 35. The fake to Anderson, a good fake it is. A seductive move by the running Greasy, who is out of bounds near the 50 and shoved that way by the pursuing defensive lineman Michael Sinclair. Out of bounds at about the 48. And right now, about a 16 to 17-yard scramble by Brian Gracie. Bad shoulder and all.
Look at the ball handling that he did by putting the ball out there in his stomach. I mean, the entire Seahawks defense took off. Levon Kirkland, everybody went over backside.
Would you run your quarterback knowing he is fragile, especially with the tender shoulder today?
If you run him, you got to make sure he's smart enough to know to go down. Get down before you take a big blow.
Denver has to get inside the 45 of the Seahawks. Just seconds remain in the first quarter. They'll try to squeeze out a play inside the 49. Chad Eaton says somebody moved down the line. He says he was induced. And you see no time on the first quarter clock.
Prior to the ball being snapped and before the quarter ended, we had a false start on number 78. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Matt Lepsis.
Please put the game clock at 2 seconds.
Third offensive penalty against Shanahan's Denver offense in the first quarter.
A lot of interruptions in this game, in this first quarter. A lot of disruptions, a lot of flags. Seattle, I think, could really be dominating this game had they not had those two unsportsmanlike conduct calls against them.
And that will take us to the end of the first quarter. A 60-yard touchdown run by Sean Alexander on Seattle's first possession. At the end of one, Seahawks 10, Denver nothing. You're watching the NFL on CBS. We're back at Husky Stadium in Seattle. Kevin Harlan, Craig James, Beasley Reese. Second down and 8 from the 47-yard line. Matt Dominguez is in as a tight end. No catches yet for Rod Smith. Greasy with the fake, and the pass is intercepted by Reggie Tongue. And Tongue has got a blocker ahead and a foot race, and this will be a Seattle touchdown. Reggie Tongue has his second career interception for a touchdown.
Yeah, first of all, here's Tongue right back over here. Okay, he's going to read that they're going to try to wiggle this way. He comes darting up to make the interception. But Tongue, he saw it. They were trying to get the cars well. They were trying to come across with a leak there. Greasy didn't see Tongue, as aggressive as he was, seeing the crossing pattern, coming up, making a nice pick.
Lindell's extra point is up and in. First interception last 15 quarters for Seattle. Reggie Tongue, the hero now. Ex-Kansas City Chief Reggie Tongue returning an interception 55 yards for a touchdown. His third career touchdown. His second interception touchdown. And Brian Greasy has now thrown 4 interceptions this season, coming on the heels of 2 pretty ordinary performances of the last couple games. The ensuing kickoff. Chris Cole from the 7-yard line. Grabbed by Huff, slips by him, takes it out to the 26, and brought down on the play after a return of 20 yards. And downstairs we go to Beasley Reese.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. We've got 2 of the best defensive coordinators in the National Football League in this game. Ray Rhodes of Denver, Steve Sidwell of the Seahawks. Now, Sidwell told us yesterday that last year's Seahawks defense was the worst in the history of the National Football League. Well, they brought in a lot of guys. Chad Eaton, Levon Kirkland, Marcus Robertson, John Randall. And now you see a brand new attitude, a brand new look on this defense. They're making big plays. Back upstairs.
RP's 26-yard line. Only 11 rushing yards for Anderson on 1st and 10. He was grabbed by Eaton and then brought down. And again, Rod Smith has not made a reception today. Chad Brown helped on the tackle. It's a gain of 3 out to the 28.
Mike Anderson's trying to stretch that stretch play that they run there in Denver. And what happens is the defense usually overruns. And Sidwell, the coordinator, was saying, hey, we have to be responsible with our gap. We have to force 2nd and long, 3rd and long, and we'll be a successful team. The guys like Chad Brown are loving this defense and the way that they're all coming around.
Outside the 28, 2nd down and 7. Empty backfield. There goes Anderson to the top of your screen. Greasy throws outside. First catch today by the NFL's leading receiver, Rod Smith, weaving his way to the 37. A first down and a gain of 8. Yeah, it's about time that they hit the #1 guy in receptions and receiving yards in the NFL.
Talk about a focused human being. Rod Smith yesterday walking in there. He's one of the team captains now. He takes a great deal of pride in that. The fact that he's gone from being a guy who was on the practice squad to begin his career. Now he's the captain, and he wants the ball. Not only does he want the ball, he wants the block.
Dominguez in there as a tight end. 37-yard line, 1st and 10. Greasy across the middle. Outside, Smith again. Manhandled by Willie Williams. Thrown out of bounds. 42-yard line. Picks up 5 yards on the play. And coming up in the Nextel halftime report, join Jim, Mike, Randy, and Jerry for all the scores, highlights, and the latest NFL news. That's all next from New York in the Nextel halftime report. Rod Smith will take a breather. A guy who is like Jerry Rice in terms of workout ethic. He never misses a day. 2nd down, long 4 from the 42. And a flag is thrown as they run the ball up the middle. Landis Gary was the ball carrier, and Larry Nemmers has had a busy afternoon on the field here in Seattle. By the way, this is the kind of field they're going to use at the new stadium for the Seahawks, which is almost complete next to Safeco Field for the baseball Mariners.
Defense offside, number 51. The 5-yard penalty will result in a 1st down.
Anthony Simmons.
Yeah, Simmons, he tries to come up. He times it wrong. He gets right here in the neutral zone, right at the snap of the ball. It's a free play.
Landis Gary remains in the game for Denver. Now at their 48, or just shy of their 48 with a 1st and 10. Gary gets the call. By midfield and down to the 48-yard line. Robertson jumped on him first, and then he was pulled down initially by Anthony Simmons. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Jerry and Mike Anderson both kind of switching in and out of the game. Both of these guys have proven they can play and do well, but I think you got to ride one right now and let him go.
Greasy does not throw to his running backs all that much, does he?
No, but don't be surprised if they do in this ball game here. Jerry Kubiak said, we got to find guys that produce for us. We may have to throw screens and get the ball with a flash to the back.
2nd down, 6 from the 49. They throw outside. A rare throw to a running back, and that is dropped by Anderson. Maybe now we know why they don't throw. Anderson has yet to catch a pass this year. Gary has caught 1 pass. Tony Carter hasn't caught a pass. And Patrick Cape, who plays some fullback, has caught 6, but he's also a tight end.
I asked Brian Greasy, who's your best back out of the backfield? He said Landis Gary.
Yeah.
So it kind of surprising. They pull him out, and they throw the ball to Anderson in the flat. It's the right play. You're getting one-on-one with your back and a linebacker, but you got to get it to the right guy who can catch the football.
This is the deepest penetration all day by Denver. 3rd and 6 from the Seattle 49. Haight in motion. A block by Anderson. There goes Tongue, grabbing Greasy, corkscrewing it in at the 46. The 2nd sack today by Seattle. Seattle is the number 1 team in the AFC, now with 14 sacks this year.
He comes from the backside. They're rolling away. You would think that they're going to get the right playoff here. Tongue comes. They have the right call on offensively, but they just don't execute. Greasy felt it, but his offensive line didn't move to the wide side with him, and excellent pursuit by the defensive line of getting there.
Another ruined punt. Bobby Ingram is deep back, turning his heels at about the 9, drifting to the 8, breaks 1 tackle. Breaks the tackle. Oh, Benoit Kennedy just got him. Knocked him off his horse at about the 19. 46-yard punt, 11-yard return. More defense for Seattle. That play offered by Tongue.
And by WorldCom Generation D.
Well, when you're in Washington, you get Washington apples as you take a look at Brian Greasy, who threw an interception to Reggie Tongue, who returned it 55 yards for a touchdown. About 17-0 Seattle after the Denver punt to the 19 of Seattle. 1st and 10 for the Seahawks. The fake to Alexander. And Gilbert goes outside to Corn Robinson, who slides ahead for a 1st down to the 31-yard line in a gain of 12 and belted out a play by Mobley.
But Trent Dilfer really is showing the progress that he told us about in his meeting room. I mean, you talk about finding receivers, getting out there, and as soon as Robinson made the cut to go to the outside, the ball was in the air. That meant that Trent got his feet and hips turned around, and the fundamentals he's talking about with us in the meetings are what's working for him right now. He's 5 of 7 on his passing.
31-yard line, 1st and 10. Take to Alexander, and the pass, a wobbly one, is incomplete. Fluttering down at the 50-yard line, zeroing in on Darrell Jackson. Second down and 10. Log on to NFL.com and read what Vinny Testaverde, Junior Seau, Kerry Collins, and other NFL stars had to say in their own words. It's only at NFL.com or AOL keyword NFL.com. Kevin Harlan, Craig James, Beasley Reese in Seattle. Second down and 10. Seahawks at the 31. Dilfer sprinting out of the pocket, chased by Washington, brought down, fumbles the ball, they mark him down at the 22. Second Denver sack today, and Washington's second sack with the Broncos.
Again, a nice job there of Washington on the outside. He gets out, and he forces Dilfer to leave, but what they were trying to do was get a little leap to the flat. Washington stays with him, gets him down. And one thing Mike Holmgren says, I never coach to take a sack. Get rid of the football. He really likes his quarterbacks to get rid of the ball when possible.
Which he felt Dilfer was coached to do at Tampa Bay.
Absolutely.
Push it back to the 23 with the sack, 3rd and 18. 4 receivers deployed. Dime defense for Denver. Handoff to Alexander. He gets by Eric Davis, and then Davis gets up and redoes him. And down he goes. A loss of 4 on the play by the veteran Eric Davis, the 2-time Pro Bowler, who last year played with Carolina.
All right, now this is a lack of discipline. Right here, he's got to stick with what he has right up inside. There's his block that he was reading. Instead, he wants to juke and get around. This guy's open. He's by himself. You've got to be disciplined, hit the running lane, run past the arm tackles, which he didn't do that time. Trying to make things happen with his feet. You got to run past people in the NFL.
Nice Denver defense. Delta O'Neal is back, number 24. Chris Cole returns kickoffs. O'Neal returns punts, and Delta back there at about the 35. Eagles booms it high and long, and O'Neal at the 36. Got a block from Gold, and then Jean-Philippe Darche, the center, number 52 from Quebec, makes the tackle. 5-yard return, 46-yard punt. Special teams again, thriving for Seattle.
I'm under Ricky Waters over giving a little advice, saying probably to be disciplined, stay with the hole. Don't try to bounce it and make things on your own. Use your lead blockers and your offensive line.
After the Seattle punt for the 41, Denver first and 10. Heath in the backfield. A block by Anderson. Greasy fires a pass downfield, and it's caught. It's Kennison. 25-yard gain. And they spot the ball near the 34-yard line.
Yeah, hey, he's going to come across. Here he is over here. He's going to come this way, and he goes deep. And it's a nice job of allowing him to get there. Brian Greasy, plenty of time to throw the football. Kennison stepping up, making plays, producing for the offense. That's what Brian Greasy was looking for, and more importantly, hoping for.
Kennison makes his second catch today. Deepest penetration by Denver today inside the 35. Take to Anderson. A block on Sinclair, and a pass is caught. Rod Smith stretching out, 21-yard line, gain of 14, and a Denver first down.
Little 10-yard out there, Rod Smith. They're getting in this rhythm here. This is where Steve Sidwell needs to change things up defensively, but they've got plenty of pass protection. Greasy's on rhythm right now with his passing game. 10 yards, goes to the out. They're either too deep or they're too shallow, but right on this particular drive, Denver has got the rhythm going with their passing game.
And rhythm is everything. 7 of 10, Greasy today, but he has thrown an interception, 4 touchdowns from the 21, first and 10. Anderson, grabbed by Willie Williams, swivels his way down to about the 13, picking up 7 on the play, setting up second down and 3.
All right, the run usually sets up the pass, but maybe today they have to go with a pass to set up the run. Here's what Mike Anderson did last year against Seattle. This is unbelievable, 5.6, 326 yards. That in 2 football games. This is what Denver was expecting to do today, was to run the ball, but they're using the pass right now to set up the run for him.
Today, 6 carries and 21 yards, 14-yard line, second down, 3. And the handoff to Anderson. He finds his way inside the 10, near the 7. That was hard-earned, a gain of 6. And it's first and goal for the Denver Broncos.
Boy, bring your bowl of Wheaties when you come to the hole against Mike Anderson.
A big bowl.
Woo! Lots of milk. Man, I like that. Man, you talk about 2 guys hitting each other. Look at him get down. Get behind your pads. Get behind your pads. Whoever gets lower usually wins, and that's bringing it.
First and goal outside the 7. Anderson Nice play by LeVon Kirkland. Diving at the feet of Anderson. No gain on the play. Second down and goal.
You see how Denver's offense is working right now against that Seattle defense who's really aggressive. They hand the ball off over the left tackle. They have one guy coming around, Rod Smith, faking the reverse. They're trying to create a little doubt in that Seahawks defense. Right now, Denver truly is offensive.
Tony Carter is coming as the fullback. Second down goal at the 8. Following the Carter block. It's a fake by Greasy and a pass into the end zone, caught for a touchdown. An 8-yard touchdown reception by Eddie Kennison. His first reception as a Bronco in the end zone this year.
There's that misdirection again, right? We're talking about how they're working the secondary right now. They're working the defensive line. He's the number 2 guy. They're going to Dwayne Carswell, number 1, but he's the number 2 guy. Look how hard Kennison worked to get over in the vision of Greasy. He's the number 2 guy. Rod Smith was far left corner. He wasn't open, and they found Kennison backside number 2.
Greasy throws his 9th touchdown pass of the year. Elam will try the extra point. Tom Rowan with the hold. And Denver gets on the board for the first time today. Eddie Kennison, Chicago last season, a year in New Orleans and 3 in St. Louis. Now he's a Bronco, and the target on this touchdown pass by Brian Greasy. We're back in Seattle where the Denver Broncos have just gotten a nice drive orchestrated by Brian Greasy and a touchdown pass to Eddie Kennison. And it's 17-7 Seahawks. James Williams is deep back for Seattle. And a short chip shot kickoff, which is caught on the fly by the reserve wide receiver Williams to the 29-yard line and brought down by Detron Smith, the reserve fullback for Denver. Kevin Harlan alongside Craig James. Great to have you with us. Beasley Reese is on the sideline. A much-needed score, Craig, for Denver's offense.
And that's up to the defense. Can Denver's defense come out and answer the call? Denver's defense has done a nice job of confusing, at times, Seattle's offensive line. I would expect Ray Rhodes' defense to, again, establish the momentum by getting after Trent Dilfer in the pocket.
29-yard line, first down and 10 for Seattle. The play selection on first down today by Seattle. No surprise here. Flag is thrown. A pass on first down. Caught by Fourier, tumbling to the 36. A gain of 6 as it stands right now, but wipe it away. It's a hold against the Seahawks offensive line.
Holding, offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Veteran Chris Bray.
Seattle's penalties on the day, absolutely something that they just can't deal with. This is a team at 2-2 trying to beat one of the best in the business. Those 55 yards are tough yards to be given away against the team that many believe the best in the AFC West.
So push it back 10 to the 19. First and 20. Dilfer again right to work. Good block by Wider going deep down the zone. The receiver is held, and there goes the flag. Delta O'Neal was virtually inside the jersey of Darrell Jackson. I saw it way up here, and we are literally on the roof in this stadium. That's a flag thrown on O'Neal, who was the star in Denver a week ago against the Chiefs.
Had 4 interceptions last week against them, and he said...
Defensive pass interference, number 24. Automatic first down.
Look at him still come after him, though. You know, hey, he's only a young guy, and they're going to keep coming after me. But, yeah, this was clearly, I mean, he saved probably a touchdown by grabbing him from behind like that. That's a 36-yard penalty, and that's something that obviously Denver, we talked about them answering the call defensively. That's not the way you start the series.
Alexander on first and 10. Trevor Price hauls him down. And Romanowski and Fourier were battling away from the ball, and it appeared as though Fourier was trying to throw a punch at him. But Fourier was clapping and sensing that Romanowski will get flagged on this play.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 53. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Well, whether it's Tony Gonzalez in Kansas City or Christian Fourier in Seattle, there's not a tight end in the NFL that likes Bill Romanowski.
Everyone wants to decleat him. They want to have the slobber knocker punch on Romanowski when they play him. But, you know, really, when you think about this football game here, Levon Kirkland, a veteran, he's had one unsportsmanlike on him. And here's Romanowski. Those kind of 15-yard penalties just absolutely crush your momentum that you had.
Seattle scored on their first possession on a 60-yard touchdown run by Sean Alexander, who's in the backfield now. The penalty pushes the Seahawks to the 29-yard line, 1st and 10. And the handoff to Alexander. Diving into a pile, maybe a half-yard gain on the play. Beasley Reese, 2nd down and 9 as we send it to you.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. You know, I was working in Tampa when Trent Dilfer was the quarterback there. There he was told, we play defense here, you just don't do anything. Then he goes to Baltimore, he's told the same thing. Don't really do anything, we play defense. You can see Trent Dilfer manages a pretty good game. Mike Holmgren said he has more talent than people think he does. He's a better quarterback than people think. Back upstairs.
Yeah, Beasley, and also Holmgren told us that he will take his shots in this red zone area with Dilfer, and that he has confidence, and Dilfer was very appreciative of the vote of confidence.
2nd and 9 pitch. It's Alexander, written by Romanowski, grabbed by Mobley. Gets a 1st down to the 18-yard line of Denver. And a good run. 11-yard gallop by Sean Alexander. Taking the place of Ricky Waters, out for about 2 months with a cracked bone in his right shoulder.
Well, sometimes he really gets a feel for where he's supposed to go with it. This time on the outside, Romanowski, he gets hung up on the outside. Really nice job. You see this here? That's an excellent block. Stay outside and take what the offensive line's giving you. And when you talk about discipline, that's what I'm saying there. Know what your offensive line's trying to do. Just give you a little inch, and you can take it to the 10 yards.
1st and 10 from the 18. Dilfer throws near side. That is hauled in by Alexander. His 10th reception of the season. Picking up 5. Sliding to the 13. 2nd and 5 coming up.
This red zone area, this is where we talk about what Holmgren said, taking my shots in the red zone.
And he loves to do it.
And Dilfer, who's never had that opportunity. Beasley was just telling you how in the past he was coached not to make mistakes, but he feels like he can win. He can make the plays in the red zone. Just give him a chance to do it.
2nd down 5 from the Broncos 13. To the end zone or close to it for Fourier. He takes it to the 1. Grabbed by Ian Gold. It's a gain of 12, and it's 1st and goal for the Seattle Seahawks.
Fourier, the timing of this thing over here, he's going to go when he hooks. As soon as he hooks, the ball's on its way. Look at the timing of the offense. You talk about rhythm. There it is, right there. He looks up inside. He has worked his way to the inside arm of the linebacker. That's where that soft pocket is. Nice job at Dilfer getting the ball, seeing where it was, using his eyes, working the secondary.
1st and goal, the pitch out to Alexander. A block from Strong. The flag is down. They say he is in. Over the pylon and for the touchdown. But the flag is thrown at the 3. Alexander's got his 2nd touchdown today.
Number 95, offside, lined up in the neutral zone. Penalty is declined. Touchdown.
A 60-yard touchdown run by Alexander and a 1-yard touchdown run by Alexander.
You know, you got to show me something, they say in the NFL. Look at the speed and look at the burst of Alexander here. There's a different gear. Watch his footwork right here. Here's where he's going to take off. He's a foot race. Can he get to the corner for the touchdown? That showed me something with Sean Alexander that I didn't quite know that he had. That's a second burst right there to get around those linebackers who had clearly the angle on him. You like that? They show me something. Who used to sing that? Who's the guy that did that? That was the NFL deal last year, wasn't it? You got
that was.
show me something. The director.
Spike Lee.
Bingo.
You are so multi-faceted.
Just not good with names.
Lindell's extra point is up and in. A big day for Sean Alexander. 2 rushing touchdowns. Seattle on top, 24-7. An all-new Survivor, Thursday at 8, 7 Central on CBS. On that drive, Denver's defense had 2 horrific penalties that totaled 51 yards and really resuscitated Seattle's offense.
36 yards on the pass interference, 15 yards on Romanowski. Sometimes you're really in a tight game on the road. You really need to be disciplined individually to help the team collectively.
This is a team which supposedly has that discipline, supposedly has the chemistry.
We sat in those meetings and got a great read on these 2 football teams, and I sensed the tightness that was happening with Denver.
Lindell's kickoff after the Alexander touchdown run. It's Chris Cole. grabbed and brought down by Reggie Tung. Tung picked off Greasy earlier in the game and returned it 55 yards for a touchdown. 25-yard return.
Maybe it's not tightness as much as they recognize there's a struggle going on. Maybe that's what it is. You know, this is a team that they've lost Ed McCaffrey, which was a big blow to the offense. Now they're searching for a way to find somebody else to come up and make plays. I think Eddie Kennison answered the call here in the second quarter. In this first half, he's played pretty well. Some bad plays. Romanowski, the last 36-yard pass penalty play. I mean, those are the things that really stop any kind of momentum you have.
Broncos their own 29, first and 10. Here comes the blitz. Outside it goes. Caught by Anderson. Whacked by Maurice Kelly after a first down run to the 41-yard line and a gain of 12.
There we go. Got a little screen action going here. Mike Shanahan, when we asked him who would step up and be the guy to make the plays, was he defensive? Maybe that's not the word either. But he was like, hey, look, I've been doing this for a long time. Right. Somebody always comes up and makes plays, you know. You lose one guy, who's going to be the next one?
It's always happened for him.
Yeah, somebody always steps up, and in his mind, it's going to be maybe the running backs, could be Eddie Kennison. Somebody will make the plays.
41-yard line, first and 10. Neyland's snap to Greasy. Anderson is swallowed up by Michael Sinclair. And a gain of about a yard. Second down and 9. We're approaching the 2-minute warning. This is a game that you said, Craig, for Seattle was a bellwether game.
And that defensive line, the guys in the middle that they picked up specifically, is really making the difference for them. Randall and Eaton in the middle with LeVon Kirkland.
No huddle on second and 9. Greasy fires a pitch downfield, and it's pumped for a first down. Kennison again his target at the 40. Gain of 18. First and 10 Denver as we approach the 2-minute warning. Broncos have 2 timeouts. Seattle has 3. Kennison today, 4 catches and 61 yards and a touchdown. 2-minute warning. Seattle has been dynamite. Craig James. First and 10 after the Kennison catch at the 40-yard line. 2-minute warning. Oh, Teague moved. In fact, a couple guys moved. Is Teague a first-year starter taking the place of Tony Jones? In fact, Lenny Friedman, the left guard, taking the place of Mark Schlereth, who's out of the game now, and so a new left side of the offensive line for the Broncos.
Yeah, and you asked Shanahan about that. You said, hey, how are they playing? And remember what he said? He goes, you know, they're playing good. You know, Schlereth and those guys in their heyday were awesome, but now these guys are stepping up.
False start in the offense, number 70, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Yeah, they feel the pressure from over here, which forces him to jump early on it. And that's just, you know, hold your water. Got to sit in there and wait. Hold your water. Well, I tell my 10-year-old son, Andy, he coaches my youth football team. When he goes on 3, he always says, on 3, hold your water. You know, you just got to be patient. You got to sit in there.
6 Denver penalties, Craig. 4 on Shanahan's offense today. First and 15, 45-yard line of Seattle. Patrick Haight is in motion. Greasy's hit his last 5. Great time. Good block by Lexus. He's now hit 6 in a row. Kennison with the block from Gary. And down the sideline, he walks to about the 38. And a gain of 7. Kennison has emerged in an offense that certainly needs a compliment to all the great receivers they got, namely Rod Smith.
And in a 2-minute offense, how much of this will he really understand? And, you know, a little bump there. I think matter of fact, he probably pushed him off. And but if the ball had been in the air at that time, it would probably been pass interference. So Kennison's definitely stepping up. And in this 2-minute drill here, how much of it does he know? Because you know Brian Greasy knows what he's supposed to be doing.
Outside the 37, second down and 8. Carswell is on the move to tight end. Greasy throws it outside, incomplete, almost uncatchable for Rod Smith. Rod Smith today has not been the force he has been. They throw to him about 12 times a game. And he catches about 9 catches a game. They've thrown to him 4 times. He's grabbed 3 of the Greasy passes.
And the guy is a workhorse. He wants it. This leads the league. This number here probably will go down some this year because he's going to be depended on to make a lot of the 3rd and 4 receptions that McCaffrey used to do. But he's definitely a warrior on the field that is a blue-collar superstar.
Orlandis Gary is in 3rd down and 8 from the 38 of Seattle. 2 tight ends. Greasy moving up nicely. Throwing right on the money. Caught by Kennison. It's a first down to the Seattle 22. Rustled out of bounds by Chad Brown on 3rd and 8. A 16-yard strike by Greasy.
This all comes back to a function of time. You know, how much time do you have to throw to stay in the rhythm? And at this point here, he's getting plenty of time. He's able to get back. His shoulder looks strong. Really no problem at all with this, that deep out to the left side. So where you might have been concerned a little bit with some of the soreness and tenderness that he had, definitely not a concern today.
Inside the 22, first and 10. Today for Tennessee. Gary in the backfield. Offers a block in time for Greasy and the throw to Carswell. Hold in at about the 15. Gain of 7. Setting up second down and 3. Denver will burn a timeout. They've got one left and they trail 24-7. Denver just used a timeout. They've got one left. They're inside the 15 of Seattle.
And you talk about some players stepping up, producing for this offense. There's a guy named Kevin Casper who has a bad ankle that's out. You know, you get a feel for what Shanahan was telling us. I'll find somebody. I'm not concerned about that.
Casper, number 2 in the NFL in kickoff returns, is a rookie out of Iowa. Broncos took over at the 29 with 3:14 left. 8th play of the drive. Second down, 3 inside the 15. Fake to Gary. And a pass down the middle and broken up by Anthony Simmons. Incomplete to Patrick Hape. Boy, the linebacker Simmons, and this was the guy that most of the Seahawks told us yesterday has been terrific on defense.
He got lucky here because Greasy, if he'd have set and got the ball over him, he was open, and he just didn't do it. And the ball was a little bit behind the receiver. Hape was there. Simmons kept going to it, but you can see him in that chase position. And the ball just delivered a little bit behind him and late.
5 receivers, including Orlando Scary, empty backfield, 3rd and 3 inside the 15. Carswell in the backfield to help block, and that's what he does. Greasy with time to the end zone, incomplete. Looking as a flag. They were going to Matt Dominguez, the rookie free agent from San Houston State. Called off the practice squad last week and active against the Chiefs, but they've gone to him a couple times today, and the flag will be against the
Defensive
Seahawks.
pass interference, number 24 in the end zone. Automatic first down on the 1-yard line.
That is the second penalty today on Springs of Seattle.
How about our man Beasley Reese coming up with number 49, Dominguez, the Nuggets, saying they were going to throw it to him today. Absolutely, they're trying to. Sean Springs maybe a little rusty, maybe a lack of respect for Dominguez going out and pushed him when he shouldn't have.
First and goal from the 1. Nathan Anderson in the backfield. The fake, and Greasy rolls and throws to the goal line. Caught by Hape. He did not get in. Literally inches shy.
Reggie Tongue has showed up and is playing some football today. Has 1 interception returned for a touchdown. He had a guy covered in the end zone, and Hape was really by himself, but he comes off as soon as he recognizes where the ball is going to go and used his legs to drive back Hape. Hape's a bigger guy than him, but Hape didn't use his legs. Tongue did.
Denver with the timeout. Second and goal. Handoff to Anderson. Grabbed and brought down. Michael Sinclair finished them off, but you know who made that play was 93 John Randall. Right up the middle and piercing the line. Randall was great.
Oh, you're talking about some meat in here. The hole really was outside. He tried to go man on man, gets it in there. That's the meat. That's that meat that they went for in the offseason, saying we got to stop the run. John Randall, Chad Eaton, and Levon Kirkland, we're going to stuff the running game.
3rd and goal. At the Seattle 1. Greasy at the empty backfield. To the end zone, caught for a touchdown by Rob Smith. His 5th of the year, and coming into today, he was tied for number 1 in the NFL with receiving touchdown.
All right, really good job of coming across. Everybody is crossing here. The time to throw the ball. There goes Dwayne Carswell underneath. Rod Smith comes on top of him. Not able to stay with him. Really a nice job of a great series, matter of fact, for the Denver Broncos to come in before halftime, take it down the field. Greasy showing the leadership and the knowledge of the game.
They began at the 29-yard line. Elam in the extra point. And the Denver Broncos are back in business with 9 seconds to play. 325 consecutive point afters for